Today I'd like to begin asking you to think of something that you're going to think is a little strange. Are you ready? Think of somebody you don't like. Limit it to 5 people, okay? And pick that one person that you really, really don't like. Okay? Think about that person. And then imagine yourself with that person, and they do something that's unexpected, that helps you, that makes you see something in a different way. And you're probably looking at, oh no, I can't do that. No, that person I hate too much. No, I can't go back. That is the ambience, for lack of a better term. That is the structuring of our first reading today from the Old Testament. That this Persian king who had conquered the Israelites, and the Israelites were in captivity because they didn't obey God. So usually in the time of that alliance, they were conquered, and the prophets came, and this was way after Isaiah. The first Isaiah was called Deutero-Isaiah, which is like a couple hundred years later, and they get the word that this king that's dominating them, that they don't like, is going to return their land. Not only return them to their promised land, but also help them build their temple, which is very important for the Israelites. And so from somebody who they considered an oppressor, who they considered outside the faith, that they considered one that was not on their side, became a person that helped them. And the only way that they were able to probably accept that was getting their land back and getting their temple back. But also something way more important is they had to rededicate themselves to their covenant with God. Because during that time when they were ostracized and they were out of the host, they didn't follow the covenant, they were conquered and all that, they didn't live with the joy of having a closer relationship to God. Now that's a little bit of an understanding, and we think about the gospel today. Some people would think that it's a call not to pay taxes, that we're not supposed to do that. Actually, this part of Matthew and Matthew's community is called a pronouncement story. And because Jesus is setting his community up, or Matthew's community, to put and hinge on that last line of the gospel. Give to God what is God's, and give to Caesar what is Caesar's. And in order to understand that, like the Israelites needed to rededicate themselves to God, to recommit themselves to God, at this time in the history of Matthew's community, the Christian community there had to acknowledge, and so do we, that we are God, part of God, and we need to acknowledge God first before we do anything else. Somehow and in some way, we need to always put God first in our lives. And it's not just getting up in the morning, crossing ourselves. That's a good start, saying, Lord, be with me through the day. And then at the end of the day, go to bed. Oh, thank you, Lord, that I made it through the day. And you could go to sleep, hopefully. But it's a dedication of saying, Lord, not only be with me during this day, but help me respond the way you want me to respond today in everything that I do. When I go to school, when I go to work, when I have interactions with my friends, when I talk to my brothers and sisters, when I talk to my mom and dad, when I read the newspaper, or maybe even when I'm online pressing my thumbs like there's no tomorrow on the phone. How is that helping me respond to the presence of God in my life? Because when we do that, then we bring our faith into our lives, and we keep God first, and we're able to give to Caesar, in one sense, what is Caesar, because we are responding to the day-to-dayness in our life from the point of view of our faith. To say it in other ways, using the grace that God gives us as baptized people in our lives to constantly proclaim Him through word and deed. So today, as we reflect on what does it mean to keep God first, Let us open our eyes to see how people whom we think are our enemies at times could be used as instruments of God. And more important, how is it that we ask and invite God in our lives to always help us answer our day-to-day routine in a way that proclaims his love for us and for the world.